All right. And we are live on YouTube and Facebook. Just got to Instagram's killing me right now. There we go. There we go. All right. Okay, we're set up.
We've been live for 19 seconds.
It took almost 20 seconds for that to activate on the Instagram.
What's going on, everybody?
I don't know.
Boy, you miss one show and it's just
I
a
know.
ghost town.
I know. You lay off the gas for 2 weeks.
We didn't lay off the gas.
The past 2 weeks, though,
we got kicked in the nuts.
It's been 2 months, dude.
We got kicked.
Sefton. I saw you,
buddy?
I saw you on the slot tournament kicking Zach's butt. Good for you.
Yeah, whatever. I was doing a thing.
Yep, we were. He was too busy catching fish over 17 inches as well.
Interestingly enough, Josh, a north wind coming out of the lake seems to point my camera at exactly where I'm fishing, whereas a south wind, I'm always like,
it's like you're like to
back,
the left.
Yeah.
So
a north wind is crappy for that lake, but great for camera. Of course.
Listen, I don't know how many guys are in here right now.
Two
who do often who do often record. But I will tell you this: if you are recording and you do use a GoPro, a DJI, whatever, anything that can clip into some form of a GoPro accessory or a DJI accessory, I need you to check out at darkhorsetackle.com. We've got a Yak Gadget camera mount, and it's about 3 feet long. And this thing goes right into your track. And what I like to do is, this is my boat, right? And I keep it just like this on my boat. And I have it angle me, because if it's on the right, you're going to see me cast. You're going to see the trajectory of that bait. You're going to see how I'm working it, because I position. If you're a right-handed fisherman, you need to fish right-handed.
I've got at least 3 great shots of me just golly stomping that camera with a frog.
Right. You know,
whack.
Since I'm right-handed, what I do is I fish the left side. I fish to the left with my right hand. That way I can set the hook to the right, pull them away from the bank.
I never thought about it, but
really,
I do it anyways.
I stage myself basically to cross cast. If I'm covering water, I'm cross casting to my left, and it's always worked better for me. Like, if you ever watch me work a pond, my reel handle faces the inside of the water, unless the accessibility is not there. You know, if you have to fish what you have to fish, and hey, you got to fish.
I don't know. Being in the canoe for so many years, and then the kayak, I've got like a 360-degree swivel.
Yeah. I love,
like, if you watch me, like, I'm sure if you had like a camera that wasn't attached to my boat, and as the wind does what it does to you, like, the kayak just turns underneath me, and like, I stay as straight as I can.
So it was turning with you. It wasn't turning against you.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, the kayak will go turn this way or turn that way, and I'm fishing whichever way I'm fishing, and I just keep bending and twisting until I can't twist anymore.
No, that's real. I get that. Like, I know exactly what you mean. Like, your torso is your chest is in line with your butt cheeks at one point, because your eyes are just honed in on how you're fishing, but your body is staying straight, and you're, out of nowhere, you're like, man, my back really hurts. And you're shaped like an S.
You're bent in half.
Yeah, you're bent to, all hell.
So I had I signed up for the Jigs and Bigs. I signed up for the Jigs and Bigs slot tournament. Yes. It was fun, as it usually is.
Right.
It's
As one would say.
It is a very interesting way in a what do they call that? A 10,000 foot view to turn any lake into a pay lake. Because I'm guaranteed if I enter a slot tourney to catch a nice big bass.
Yep.
Just almost guaranteed.
Yep.
And I caught a few that were too big and didn't count. I caught 3 whole ones that didn't count. But Bobby, I hope you're listening. Since he didn't since he wasn't vociferous about my accomplishments on the Jigs and Bigs podcast, I'll do it here. I wasn't last.
Yes.
Woo!
Right. So
and that didn't happen until like 20 minutes before the tournament was over. Interestingly enough, and I've talked about this before. The bait I was using, which is coming in the June all topwater box, I'm really excited about it. This particular bait is gonna change the game.
Oh, is it? Do we have a game changer?
We have a game changer. Pew, 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 pew.
I think we got a couple game changers in there.
But but I was catching a certain size fish with a bait making a certain noise. And I fished all topwater. I know you don't believe that,
bell, perhaps.
But I switched to a different bait making a different noise, and I started catching the slot size.
Yep.
It was very interesting. I also noticed something that I've always done, but never really thought to mention it or talk about it. But wind.
Yeah.
I actually noticed that what I do on that lake, being in a kayak, I do have the ability. I have one of those sticks, big 10-foot long stick, jam it in the ground, hold you solid. But I don't have a motor. And I've noticed what I do a lot is I set myself up on drifts.
Yep.
And it's actually extremely efficient. Extremely efficient. I never really noticed that I did it until I was like, man, I just floated from here to there. I caught a whole bunch of fish. I'm going to do it again. And guess what? Caught more fish.
Dude.
So it was pretty cool.
So more about slot tournaments, as far as my opinion on them. They are one of the greatest style, format, whatever you want to say. It is the best way to format a tournament nationwide at a great time, a very safe time in the fishing universe. You know, June, May, end of May.
Yeah.
You know, you got guys going post spawn. You got guys way past post spawn. They're eating topwater, whatever. All kinds of patterns can be fished. 12 to 17 inches. What it comes down to, and you guys are going to hate this. Oh, you're going to hate this because fishermen do not like this. It comes down to skill. It comes down to a lot more skill than it does luck. And it doesn't really come down to forward-facing sonar. It doesn't really come down to electronics.
Well,
and technology.
it can.
Man. I don't
know.
Man.
It depends on where you're fishing. I mean, like if you got the old cheater box on there, and you can find yourself a school after school, but you know, I don't know. I've been watching 3 different leagues this year.
Yep.
And I don't know. Guys seem to be able to catch them. Some guys can catch them no matter what's going on. Some guys can't. And it goes both ways. Some guys don't catch them very well. Can't catch them very well when during the power hour or whatever, you know, when the box is on, and some guys don't do very well when the box isn't on. And there are some guys that just do well no matter what.
So that is
pretty cool, though.
That is something I wanted to touch on. I watched the Sabine River, or Sabine, whatever. I don't
Sabine.
Care. It is a place I will probably never fish in my life. I would like to, but I probably won't. Either way, moving on.
We can get just as good. You come down to the Pocomoke River with me.
Yeah, we can get just as good. You can fish the lake by my house and catch 8 pounds of bass and win. All right. So that being said, the guys after, oh my God, his name, Schlapper. After Schlapper won, you look at those guys, and I saw a lot of people. Yeah, where's the FFS guys at?
Koya Fujita.
They were in the top 5, dude. They were in the top 5.
We got a new guy, or maybe not a new guy, but what's up, Dave Raleigh? I just wanted to say hi.
Dave Raleigh, how you doing? Let's give it up for Dave Raleigh. Zach will poke a moke Josh. All right, thanks, Dave. Dave Irk, everybody. Thanks,
oh, man. The wolf
making his bi-weekly appearance here on the Dark Horse Tackle Live. But yeah, I saw some comments on the internet because I've been heavily invested in the social media aspect of Dark Horse Tackle recently, and
Josh is the marketing czar.
I am the marketing czar. Neil before me,
czar.
Yes, but there's a lot of interesting stuff when you just really start to try to dial in fishing social media and how
did you see the recent comment on YouTube?
The one about the lunker hunt ain't nothing but dollar store shit.
No, it was about the somebody said the Brazalo was like a Walmart something or other.
He was saying lunker hunt.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, I thought he was talking about that one.
The ironic thing about that guy, and like, look, you can stand on your opinion and die on it all you want. That's totally fine. I respect that. That's great. But you're wrong. Yes, lunker hunt. Everybody, hey, newsflash. Every big company in the United States used to be a small business.
Yeah.
It was started in a guy's garage. The color green pumpkin was started on accident because Zoom used to be, thank you so much. Zoom used to be a small business. But
sure,
the lunker hunt buzzbait was originally the guy who made.
Dude, that was like Rick Clunn.
It was
got a hold of that thing way back when and was just ripping people on it. It was pretty new.
It was called
like the buzzbait was new.
The buzzbait itself was called the lunker hunt buzzbait. Yeah. The bait was called the lunker hunt. Bill Harkin was the guy who created that bait. It was called the Bill Harkins Lunker Hunt buzzbait. And that did. And look, Lunker Hunt for the longest time, if you guys know who Lunker Hunt is, they make some very avant-garde fishing stuff. The spider, birds, it's very abstract.
Is that the same Lunker Hunt?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they've become?
Yes. They've always done that, Zach. They've always done that. Yes,
I guess. You know what? I guess what? I guess when you look at a buzzbait, you're like, what the hell is this?
Look at it.
What the hell is this? But guess what? Oh my God! Buzzbaits.
They were actually one of the first companies to manufacture a buzzbait with a spinnerbait blade hanging off the buzzbait. And that was done in the 70s. I had seen that in old Papa's garage back in the day.
Right along with shag carpet and disco balls.
Well, Cream Worms started in Akron, Ohio. Arbogast Lures started here in Ohio. That's a fun factoid for all of you. Fishing is in my blood based on where I grew up. It's in the soil. I'm better than you. I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules. But the spider.
We'll have to find out. We'll have to find out if Parker's always been from Ohio, or just because he's been on the dirt that long.
So the beautiful thing about Lunker Hunt is that it will work because fishing baits work. And I know you disagree with that. I know you hate that. I know you hate when I say that.
Wait, say it again.
Fishing baits work. They all work.
No, they don't all work.
Application matters.
No, they don't all work. Some are.
Ryan was born and raised. See, it makes sense, Zach. It makes sense. It makes sense.
Baits. Listen, at the right time, it really doesn't matter what you put in there. You're probably going to get bit. But that is not what makes a bait good.
What makes a bait good is the person using it.
No.
I think
no, you're wrong.
I think it does.
You're absolutely wrong. I'll prove my point. I'll prove my point here.
Zach.
With
Zach.
with.
Let me
oh
ask
no, this
you a
is good. Oh no, this is good. Oh no, I'm gonna prove my point. This is great.
All right, thank God.
A bait is a tool.
Yes.
I have here 2 tools. Both of them work.
And you can catch bass on both of those.
One of them changes the game. One of them works very well. So I guess at the very base of your statement, do they work? Yes.
That's it. That's the base.
But that does not make them a good
But Zach,
tool.
Let's talk fishing now. Given the circumstances of which you like to fish, and given the circumstances that I like to follow you and go fishing, because it's a technique that I am not able to do very often. When it comes down to frog fishing, Zach,
yes,
I'm throwing the same frog on the same rod with the same reel on the same braid as you are. Why are you better at me than that? Why are you a better frog fisherman than I am?
Oh, skill.
Exactly.
Time on the water, experience,
Exactly.
yada 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 yada.
Exactly. So if I made it my goal to drill a hole in this dip can lid, put a treble hook in it, and catch a fish with it effectively, I would be a better dip can lid fisherman than you.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean the dip can lid is an effective fishing bait.
That is correct. That is correct. But
see, your blanket statement disregards all the nuance, Josh.
No,
all the nuance.
Effectiveness and does it work are 2 separate things. That's why Harbor Freight is still in business, my friend.
It's true.
They're like, hey,
Harbor Freight is in business because millwrights.
We have drills.
Because millwrights refuse to take their expensive tools where they're going to walk away.
we have them. It's just, are you going to, I'm telling you what, sidebar real quick. Then we'll get Ryan Parker in here. Yes, dink, no stink. The Lunker Hut Spider is actually a very interesting bait. I think it's pretty cool. If I could have my perfect like top water spider style bait that's like not a frog but it floats, it would be a bait made by Mule Fishing or something similar. A floating plastic that I can just Texas rig, or something that Ryan Parker may get into tonight or not. I don't know.
Interesting.
Coffee straw and a treble hook. Anyways, go ahead.
JDM. What is that thing? The corky or the something?
Dude, the koiki is one of the coolest baits I've ever seen.
Okay, now what is that thing? It floats, right? It floats, right?
I will.
And it's got a bunch of arms and legs sticking out.
Let me get my glasses. You know what it looks like?
Yes.
It's not a bunch of arms and legs. It's not like this. Down here at the bottom, it tapers in. You know what it looks like? It looks like a ball of bait fish.
You think?
Yes. Take that thing and shake it in the water.
Interesting.
It looks like bait fish.
Interesting.
And that's why bass eat it.
Maybe.
Because dude, I bet if you flip that thing,
you're presenting this as fact, and it's not necessarily fact. It's an opinion.
I think, in my humble opinion,
let's get Wait, before we bring Parker on here, I do want to say, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, right at the bell of the month, the May boxes have gone out. We apologize. We had some logistical crap going on, and it was out of our control.
Everything.
Yeah.
And Brazalo Lore is having more interest. Will you have them in? Keep your eyes peeled, Corey Ham. I hope you're subscribed to the June box, buddy. Because for one, we've used Brazalo almost every month for the past 3 months because Danny's our friend, and Danny makes a great product.
Hey, Danny's going to be on the cover of the June brochure.
He will be, and Danny,
you're going to get to see that beautiful old Southern fox.
Oh God, that perfectly tan skin. Why can't you have a salt and pepper beard, Zach?
It's getting there here.
Why can't I grow a beard, Zach?
It's what is that? The Bride of Frankenstein upside down, little bit starting.
Nice. what was her name?
Elvira.
Yeah, little Elvira action going on. So, for those of you who are subscribed and are going to get the June box, the June box will be shipping out as scheduled. It's going to be the middle of June. Our hopes.
Well, within 5 days of the 9th of the month.
Our hopes are the second week of June. There will be a little bit of a bait drop in there, and that does involve Brazalo. And yes, it is a topwater bait. So you can, I know you guys are smart. I know you guys are smart. I know you're smart. Come on.
And I will tell you this. Oh my God, is it loud?
It's loud.
I mean, it's loud.
Yeah. So this topwater box is exciting. Again, it's another 5 bait box, but it's a great value. It does what it needs to do. This
premium hard bait in there, boys.
We got a balsa bait in there
premium.
Too. So I'm just saying, can't let we got a great follow-up bait too. But hey, you always need a follow-up bait. And I think that's going to be something that we always do for the years. Every June, we will give you 4 to 5 topwater baits, then a follow-up bait.
Yeah.
Follow-up bait is important.
The caboose.
Especially right now in topwater. Topwater is always one of those things where the bass are doing 2 things. They're checking it out or they want it to die. You usually catch them when they want it to die. Yep. But when they're checking it out, bass will blunt objects strike things to knock it out, damage it, what have you, come back to it. A lot of times when a bass bluntly strikes a bait, as bass fishermen, we go, oh, God, oh, he's there.
Yeah, you need to chill out.
Your bait's gone. Right. Dude, one of my favorite things is when I'm throwing a buzz bait and they're just like, map, and then, woof. Yeah. Gone.
I actually have developed, when I'm fishing certain topwater techniques, I've developed I didn't do it on purpose, but I actually do a weird thing with my arms. And the reason I do it is to give the fish time to take the damn thing.
Just want to shout out Corey. Thank you for the kind words. He said we have the best customer service. So we're going to take it over to the customer service manager over here, Zach, because my email will never work. And for whatever reason, I don't get emails at all. I don't know why it only Zach's like, are you checking the email? Dude, and ironically, right before you called me, because I had just left, I checked the email.
Actually, I'm going to put it out there right now. If we have anybody in our viewing audience that has a good handle on Google Workspace, please reach out to me. You might be able to help me.
Yeah.
But I think
calling all white collar.
I think
it's okay. We won't tell your friends.
I think we need a tackle tip. It's Tuesday after all.
Listen, I've had a rough go of fishing. I had a bad day yesterday. Before we get Ryan in here, I had a bad day.
Did you?
I got to fish for just a little bit. I found the FOF baby mouse. And I caught 3 decent smallmouth on the FOF.
Nice.
And then in the middle of reeling it back, my line just disintegrated. And I watched it.
Oh, man. Oh, man. That's a neat little bait, too.
And here's the problem. The way I was fishing is I was casting downstream because I didn't have a way to go upstream. Downstream had all the nice riffles. So I was just casting downstream and just letting it drift back to me. Just kind of taking it from riffle to riffle like a mouse would do, right? Okay, I'm good. Okay, I'm good.
You were playing Frogger.
I was playing Frogger with the mouse. And I see it. It hits this eddy. My line's disintegrated. I throw my rod down and immediately go into like Baywatch lifeguard action, like shirts off. My skin is glistening. Yes, I start moving. And I see it in this eddy just doing this. It's just doing this in the eddy. And I see my line get caught. Chartreuse line gets caught by the lake, and it goes. And I'm like, dude, listen. If anybody was on the Big Walnut Creek and heard somebody scream the F word very loud, that was me. It was.
I'm stuck on the Josh Baywatch thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, hey, we got Kayak Adventure Series coming up here in the next couple of weeks. You might be able to see it, but we're gonna get Ryan in here.
If anybody sees an FOF tiny mouse,
Josh Hasselhoff, and if anybody sees an FOF tiny mouse, I will pay you $40 for it. because that's how much that bait means to me. It's oh god.
It's also, I think, how much they cost.
Dude, I might have to buy one from him because oh my god, is that a cool bait?
It is cool.
That was my first time throwing it. I found one of my Josh boxes at my parents' house the other day. Happened to be a quarterly. And I was like, oh baby.
Last year, early spring, I was throwing it on the lake, and I couldn't get a bass to hit it, but I caught many bass because of it, because they'd follow it. They'd come out of their little hidey holes and just be like, dump, dump.
What is
dump,
that?
dump, dump, dump.
Oh, that was early in the year too. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
That was like March.
Yep.
That was a weird time. All right, Let's get Ryan in here. Ryan
What's up, buddy?
Parker, how are you?
What's up?
How you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm happy to not be covered in thin set. I'll say that. I've been tiling for the last 2 days. So
I have a
forgive
quick question
me if
for
I've
you.
been unresponsive, because I've been like, Swamp Thing with concrete and mortar all over my hands. And, yeah.
No, I don't care what you're doing during the day. You better answer.
Yeah.
What the hell? What? I have a question for you. Do you feel like a stronger angler because you're from Ohio?
Yes.
Okay.
Short answer, yes.
Cool.
I have reasons.
Oh, holy
I have
crap.
reasons.
Guys, ladies and gentlemen, June is a lot to be excited about, but July, oh my God.
July's going to be special.
We've got special surprises for you guys. I actually thought about doing something. You know how each box is listed on the site. You can buy the whatever box and and it's June, May, blah 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 blah. I was actually gonna put something different for the product card for the July box, but then I decided, no, you know what? Our subscribers deserve a surprise. So we're just gonna keep that little secret, and unless you know me, and I've already been showing it to you because I'm super excited about it. But no, guys, stay tuned. June is amazing. July is just a special surprise. Anyway,
there might be some Easter eggs in this live episode about July.
Oh, okay.
So
what do you got for us this week, Ryan?
Well,
Mr. Parker,
we're gonna not talk about Salt and Pepper and Elvira, because we all remember her for 2 colors of hair, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about things that knockers.
Nice hat, by the way.
Oh, we're talking about knockers on the line.
Yes. Or lack thereof. I've been doing a lot of post-spawn fishing with a lot of fry garters and stuff lately. I've been kicking around some new places to me, kind of in preparation for Kayak Adventure Series. Like this next one's kind of in my backyard, and
in Springfield, Ohio.
Well, instead of hitting all the same old spots that I already know, like I know those fish are there.
Yep.
Let me go explore some new stuff that's brand new to me, and man, I found some interesting places. But I've been doing a lot of like that post-spawn largemouth fishing in crazy backwaters and places I like to get to, and I've kind of discovered something not necessarily brand new to me, but it's been interesting to me, and that has been crankbaits for like fry garters, post spawn fish. It's no big surprise. We all know this works, like shallow crankbaits, from like wake baits on to like your square bills at like 2 to 5 foot range.
$40 rat baits that you lose.
Yeah. I know where you were too, so I'll go look. I'll find it. But
stop by sometime. We'll go. You can show me how to fish there.
Yeah, well. Yeah.
In the future, soon, Springfield, Ohio, KAS, Ryan Parker wins on the FOF wake bait.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, guys, I found this thing on the creek while I was fish, and I just tied it on
idea.
and it just started working.
I got an idea.
All right, back to these crankbaits.
Yeah.
I'm going to use Jeff Little's terminology here, the progression of aggression. Right? So I've been finding these backwaters, and I've been doing something that's, I don't know, for a lot of people that have been following along for a short period of time, maybe new coming from me, but I've been doing this whole largemouth thing. It's not new for me.
It's because largies are king.
Well, I wholeheartedly disagree, but they sit right next to the king, so it's cool. They share the same room. It's all right. But what I've been noticing, like crankbait wise, is I can literally go around these lakes and have responses, flashes. Like you can see fish react to the crankbaits, but the aggressiveness of the crankbait plays massively. And I think these unpressured places, something like this last box, like the April box, if you got it, came with 2 baits that have been killing it for me. The little Black Label super shallow runner.
Bacon SSR.
The Bacon SSR. I wish it was called the USS Bacon. Like ultra super shallow bacon, like it could stand for something else, but that way it could be like, your battleship of super shallow.
Nice.
Running. Yeah, right. The USS Bacon. I might just start calling it that. But I've fished it, everything from like the Alpheus that was in, what was that? That was March. March. Yeah, that was March. The March box. So like the loudest rattling crankbait, has been really effective on these unpressured fish.
Yes.
The Icon's been awesome for kind of that middle ground, but then I get on places that you can tell, like there's evidence, like people fish here, right? Oh. And they've probably seen a lot more lures. And the balsa bait, because there's no rattle, it's so subtle, it's light, it hits the water lightly, and this kind of segues into like next month too, as we get into like more of that bug season, topwater stuff. Like there are a couple times where I think balsa baits really reign supreme. The winter time is one of those time periods, and the post spawn is especially the other. When they're a little more skittish, they've seen lures at this point, like they're getting pressured. The balsa it hits light, it doesn't make any noise, it's a really subtle presentation. Bug season, you can fish these things like topwaters. Well,
yep.
We're not gonna. All right, I digress. That you're getting like a little bonus tip there.
So I'll tell you why I like the SSR real quick for skinny water fishing, and I think it's like the perfect river crankbait. Tighter wobble cuts water better.
Yes.
Tighter wobble also stays true to action better in running water than something like the Icon. The Icon in a moving water situation, like, dude, you'd have to throw like a freaking medium heavy rod.
I would not recommend this in the river. I've been throwing it.
Pull your kayak, dude.
And I have not enjoyed throwing this in the rivers. I have very much enjoyed throwing this in lakes, ponds, everywhere else.
Right.
It doesn't. You have to fish it so slowly.
It doesn't track well, and that's okay. It's great for calm water. But anyways, go ahead.
What it does well, it does really well. What it doesn't do well is fish well in current. That's pretty simple. But, like baits are created for the specific thing they're created for. But
Josh wanted me to let you know that doesn't mean that the bait doesn't work.
Correct.
Oh, no. It works plenty fine. It works plenty fine. If you've been following along with Eli, you might know that by now.
Yeah, he's taking a shine to that thing, huh?
Yeah, he's been just killing it on that thing. I think what he's found is this thing does not pick up that pond slime like very much at all, which is awesome, and it's all part of the bill. Which, all right, I'm not going to get into that one either. We can talk about bill angles another day. Crankbaits, shallow running crankbaits for post spawn fish, and thereafter too. Like you're doing two things. One, you're targeting a lot of those fry garters, as you bring it out, you're starting to target those post-spawn females that might be sitting there that are looking for that easy reaction meal. So you're kind of covering two different fish, and a lot of times it's a search bait. Sure, you can locate your fry garters with it and then follow up with your finesse stuff just out a little bit deeper on those next holding places. Because if your fish are just pulling off, like that's usually where the females are. They're in those, like that next thing or two, right? Like that next holding position until they get out of their little funk and move on. But you can do that, especially with those like 2 to 5 foot divers. I've found like you're kind of covering two bases with those. But I wanted to touch specifically on what your crankbait's made of and what it does for those fish that are really shallow. Like they're used to having stuff thrown at them at this point, from people bed fishing, whatever, and they're still shallow. They're still skittish. They're, and treble hooks for fry garters, like they're slapping at stuff. They just want things away from those fry. So treble hooks are your friend. But if you've got trouble catching these fish, try a balsa bait, something that's really subtle.
Nice.
Yeah. So there's your tip.
Cool. I actually have noticed, you were talking about the females move out to that next point while they get over their funk.
Yeah.
And where I fish, they actually do move out. They move in, and it didn't make sense to me until you just said it. They move way up, they do their thing, then they move out.
Yep.
But the ones at my lake, once they get over their funk, they go back to the 2 foot of water.
Yep.
I think there's external factors there. You fish a lot of shallow vegetation. Mm-hmm. They have something over right. That canopy is grown at that point. And that will push them shallow. It's crazy. I've fished lakes that have had like 93-degree water, and all of my fish have come out of a foot of water under cheese mats. Yep. Like it's because they have a reason to be all the way up under there.
I'm going fishing Friday. If you're not doing anything and you want to come out, Ryan.
I am too. I've got 3 more practice days I can use for. So I'll be.
How good are you, buddy? Well, you're good enough.
I found some new places that nice. I need to go look at. I have not practiced on water that I have fished before. And I have found some new places that
cool.
You guys, if you're up for an adventure, because I know you are. No, hang on. I pointed at Josh. That's wrong. I know you are.
At the wrong guy.
Yep. So we'll get there. We'll go there. I get the impression that these bass don't see a lot of lures.
Nice.
So
nice.
Yeah. If I get a wild hair or I don't feel like burning the practice day, I'll let you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Wait, Friday?
Friday. Yep.
Okay. I'm like iffy on that anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll talk.
If it was Sunday, maybe.
We usually watch my nephew on Fridays, and my little
sounds like something I would say.
They might be on strike this week. They are so far.
Did you teach him to say the F word or something?
But it's all. Oh, I think he learned that somewhere else. But
dude, you should see.
He learned it here.
I sent Josh a picture of the forecasted wind direction for Friday where I'm fishing.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a Grand Theft Auto cheat code. It's like up, down, left, right, up, down, left, right, up, down, left, right, up, down, left, right.
It literally showed like every single wind direction.
It's just swirling like crazy.
It is.
It did that to me the last Saturday. I was out there and like every 15 minutes it was blowing from it would change.
See, I was happy I was on the creek this past weekend because it was blowing pretty stiff and I was like
cold.
Yeah.
I did see lots of balls of fry. Lots of them.
Yeah, it's happening.
All about All about like
I've got fish that haven't spawned yet. I was catching some spawners this past weekend in the creeks.
It's been a weird spring, dude.
Yeah, it really has.
My girlfriend and I, we pulled up on a pond on Memorial Day, and like I just had, you know, like your typical bass gear. Like I saw the kind of water it was, and I'm like, okay, I'll put this on, and then like I walked like 10 feet and I saw a bed like this big, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna go back to my car and completely change everything. And then the ironic part is a lot of times when her and I go out, we rig up a couple bluegill rigs just because. And I caught more bass on beds on a bluegill jig this big than I did anything else. And the dangle inline spinner, for whatever reason.
Yeah, I gotta try that.
Well, an old school spawn technique that my grandpa taught me was he would grab a willow leaf blade on a swivel, and he would run the swivel through some line, and he would put a slip sinker on top of it, and he would tie it to a treble hook.
He just built himself an inline spinner.
Essentially.
Basically. Yeah.
And he'd go to a bed and pitch this, like, it was like a size 3 or size 4 willow blade. You know, one about this big.
All right.
Let it flutter down and just sit there.
And just
flutter it in front of the bass. He'd just sit there and flutter it in front of the bass. And it worked.
Go.
It was just, it's so silly but it makes sense, right? Like,
yeah,
we overcomplicate a lot of things as fishermen. Why are they hitting a spinnerbait in the first place? It's the blades.
Yes.
9 times out of 10, it's the vibration and the flash that is coming off of that bait, and they're like, "What was that?"
Why are you missing fish on a spinnerbait? Because they hit the blades, not the hook.
They're bluntly impacting it.
Yeah. Yep.
That was. I actually went fishing at work today, and we were all watching the fish come up and eat. I was throwing the dangle inline spinner. We kept watching the fish come up and hit the bait, and they're like, "Oh, why didn't you catch that one?" And I'm like, "They're literally hitting.
They're closed mouthing it. It's just the thing. Yep.
They're bait.
I had that going on in the creek. I had a bit of a spinnerbait bite going on.
Nice.
During the rise, but it just, I had a lot of short. I'm going to say short strikes. They weren't short striking it; they were hitting the blades. I switched over to that swim jig. If you're following along, you saw it. I put the big Bitters Naked Swimmer on the back, the 5-inch. It is hands down the best swim jig boot tail swim bait trailer you can stick on, because it gives it full body roll. You don't have to sit there and do the whatever the heck, what do they call it? The
Alabama shake.
You don't have to do that. The Bitters swim bait pulses the skirt and rolls that whole thing like crazy.
It's gonna be a movement, Zach. It's gonna be a movement.
And there you have it. The secret's now out for everyone viewing, or whoever finds this later on.
That's something I've heard Tim and Matt talk about quite a bit, is making sure that
the tactical bassin dudes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Welcome back to Tactical Bassin. Yeah. But they talk about it's very good information.
It's an overlooked thing. It really is.
Well, yeah, it's making sure that your trailer is adding secondary action.
Yes.
To the jig. Yeah. It's on point. They're absolutely right.
My thing, and actually, speaking of which, everybody watching, new YouTube video will be posted either tonight or tomorrow. Depends on when this ends. It's probably going to be tomorrow morning. We'll just call it tomorrow morning. I'll just schedule it for tomorrow morning. But the one spinnerbait I don't really throw a trailer on is the spinnerbait we put in May. And it's because of the fact that the spinnerbait has an arm attached to basically a line tie as if a swim jig would have. what I use a spinnerbait trailer for a lot of times is for that ballast of central weight and keeping that wire as straight as possible. So when I'm fishing cover, I can bump it and move around it, roll around it, go over it. But this Picasso bait, it's a hinged head. That
free swinging.
It just goes right through it.
You can, I mean, Russ Snyder's did a podcast here recently where he really specifically talked about spinnerbaits, and it was like, it was, I didn't learn a lot from it, but it was like, okay, somebody else
know it all,
right? Like somebody else gets this too.
Well, spinnerbaits are
like
underutilized.
He's talking about the nuances of where the weight is distributed throughout the hook, and it's like, what, like take like the Martin's knee knocker. That weight carries much further down the shank of the hook, say, than the Omegas that I've been fishing a lot lately.
It's all head.
And if you see how they swim, if you don't put a trailer on the Omega, it runs at an angle.
So
there are times you want that, but
I throw a smaller trailer on the Martins for that reason. Smaller trailer on the Martins, 3.5 inch, but on your head weight baits. The knee knocker, you can get away with it because the knee knocker does not have that. It doesn't have that ballast.
The Northern Forage does.
Correct.
Yeah.
Northern Forage, I will usually run a smaller trailer. Sorry, I had that mixed up. Knee knocker, I'm running like a 4-inch. I don't care. But
it's still, and the knee knocker still has weight that
yes,
carries
it does.
Back
it still has a nice
to
ballast to it.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, I think that knee knocker, like, that spinnerbait, man, I have thrown it for almost 2 years straight, and like I can't put it down. I can't. Like, first of all, we had a very large amount of Martin spinnerbaits back when we had the old owner. I don't know if you remember that, Zach, but
we have 3 left.
God,
we have 3 left.
Yes,
by the way,
but it took 3 years. Like, I've probably got 20 Martin spinnerbaits at my disposal, but I liked it better than a lot of spinnerbaits that I've thrown because, like, you can get it. There's just some spinnerbaits where, like, you can get it to do whatever you want. There's a lot of spinnerbaits where it's like, this is a great spinnerbait for using it as a wake bait. This is a great spinnerbait for ledge fishing or bouncing the bottom or just dragging.
Northern Forage is also, it's not a compact spinnerbait, but it's more compact than a lot of spinnerbaits.
It is a smaller frame. Let's call it a smaller frame.
So by this time, most people have received their May boxes.
I got mine yesterday. And
you got any thoughts for us?
I have a lot of thoughts. I'm pretty excited. One, I've seen those Picasso spinnerbaits, and I'm really excited to try it. It's something I've seen a lot, and I haven't pulled the trigger on.
It's a $17 spinnerbait.
Well, I know, which is fine. I don't care.
Titanium ain't cheap, damn it.
I buy resin glide baits. Like, I'll buy a $17.
Okay, money bags. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I have a cap. All right, so we're making up for a couple weeks of like no tips. So like, I'm just gonna drop some. Don't spend
only if you go dress up like
on a glide bait than you're willing to lose in a tree.
Yep.
We're gonna need you to go dress up like the Monopoly guy, Ryan.
This might also be why maybe I've been making my own resin glide baits, because it's a lot cheaper to make a whole bunch yourself.
Is it really though? Put a dollar amount on your time, buddy.
I've got about
it's winter time, so it may as well be free.
Winter time comes at a discount rate.
Yeah. Have I made one since the bass moved up shallow? No. I haven't made a single one.
Gotta go.
Yep.
I've got 20 baits I can send you if you want to paint them in practice. The thing is, you have to give me 10. You have to give me the good ones.
That's fine. They'll all be good. I just don't. The thing I have trouble with is the clear coat. That's the.
Never mind.
I know. That's what I need. That's what I need the most practice on, and I know you're so picky on it.
Listen,
I do. If you want me to put you in touch with people, I can, Ryan. Give you some tips.
Zach will tell you. I'm not a stickler about much, and it drives Zach crazy because a lot of times I'll be like, that's fine. You can work around that. But ultimately, one thing that I'm having to realize is as a guy who worked around so much stuff just to learn the way that I fish and become more of a versatile angler, you as the consumer who may not know as much as me, the owner of Dark Horse Tackle, you shouldn't have to do that preemptively. And but buddy, if I get a bad clear coat, I will chew through a concrete wall to find you. Like,
it's
like for me, all right, I don't like if I'm making them for myself and there's a couple bubbles in it, the bass don't care.
Yep.
But if I'm going to put it out into the world, this is a product I'm selling. It has to be perfect. It has to be good. It has to be his best. Yeah. The best.
Getting a beautifully, perfectly cooked Wagyu steak in a paper bag kind of defeats the purpose.
Right.
Yeah, especially when dude,
something's missing to this experience.
We work on these, like, I'm in the midst with Stoneman right now trying to get these colors figured out. And Stoneman, if you're watching, I'd love to see what's going on. But like, I'm picky about crankbait colors, man, because here's the thing. The way we do crankbaits, it's the one thing as Dark Horse Tackle that is difficult, because you're having to use a blank that you buy from somebody else that is very similar to other blanks, right? Well, is that too much, Zach?
Let's move along, Josh.
Either way. These have to be perfect because we have to sell them.
Right.
We it's like, it's easy to sell a black label balsa because you know what you're paying for and you know what you're getting. You're getting a guy who could sit there and talk to you for 3 hours about how he has essentially reverse engineered every single balsa crankbait mold that isn't patented over the past 600 years. And that man is a psychopath in the best way. Cliff Pace is an absolute psycho when it comes to quality. And I've never seen a bad black label. Like, I've held thousands at this point, and I've never gotten one that isn't glass. And when it comes to...
Not to mention, him and his wife take every single bait, every single one, down to their pond and hand tune it. Every single one.
You know what I love about...
I love that.
The one thing I love about the big bait guys is they always leave their double uni or San Diego Jam. They always leave some knot on like 40-pound monofilament that you're never going to learn how to tie. Like Michael at Sack Pig, like that's another psychopath. That man he is perfect, and he will tell you.
Yes.
Like, I
love
have
that, dude.
I have a resin Mischief Travel one piece, and I have the what's the other one, Zach?
The Travel 2-piece.
No, I have 2 one pieces. I have the one that he made for regular commodity sale.
Right.
Then
I don't remember the names.
I have like the big dog.
Okay.
Remember, he was using 2 different materials. One was less expensive. I can't tell the difference. Michael can tell you everything about it. But me, as a fisherman who just like, I'm like, hell yeah, big rat wake bait.
No,
like,
do not mess with Sack Pig's micro balloons.
No.
Do not mess with them.
No.
However, we've gotten way off topic. I was very interested to hear what Parker thought about.
We're talking about the Maybox.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot that excites me in there. 3 of them stand out. Like, they're all exciting, but 3 of them stand out to me. Like, I'm really excited to try it. One is that Picasso spinnerbait, because it's just removing the leverage that the fish has on a spinnerbait. Maybe also saving that wire a bit, because if you like, we all know that's a problem. The arb end is the weak point, at fish after fish. So I'm excited to try that one because it's been on my radar for a long time. And, I think that's one of the cool things about just the subscription box in general, right? Like, I got my $17 spinnerbait that I've been like, thinking about for years. And now they're like, here, put this in your hands. you know how to fish a spinnerbait, but here's a new one. Here's a different one. Now you get to try it, right?
Yep.
Stack it up next to them. So I'm excited to try that one. The Somatis crawls, I'm very excited about those coming into summertime. The grass is growing. It's getting tall. And I see that thing as, one, it looks like an absolute killer trailer Texas rig bait. It looks like it could be one of the most action-filled punching baits I think I've ever seen, too.
Yep.
With that real skinny body.
The way he built it, it is completely customizable for whatever technique you're trying to do with it, or whatever application you're trying to do with it.
Yep. I'm pretty stoked about and like I like to get my hands on the plastics and like know, like, are you using like a heavy plastisol, a medium, the soft? Yes, they are graded. They're not the same densities. That is a stout plastic on those things, like really, really stout. So that was definitely, you could tell, like that was built for some bigger, heavier hooks, and like durability was thought through on that. Like it is meant to go in the junk. And the Black Label Snapshot, that's, if I had to, like that one as not as a drop shot bait. We all know that is going to be a good drop shot bait.
No
brainer. A jig trailer, a bladed jig trailer, compact spinnerbait trailer, a little Ned worm. Like I've got some plans with that one.
That cup under the tail is very interesting.
Yep.
Ball head jig. Into current or sideways on current, looking at the current and making 10 o'clock casts and just giving it a dart and letting, have it.
I just picked up a handful of like HH micro cush balls, and it's gonna be on the back of one of those pretty soon.
I casted one of those off too yesterday, so it's fine. Thanks for reminding me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Let me see what else. What else do I think Josh lost in the creek?
Take a guess. Take a guess.
You want to borrow my fishing magnet, Ryan?
Dude, I'm telling you, man, it was not my day.
Hey, when you lose things at Lake Arthur, the good part is just wait a couple months till the grass grows up, and it'll actually come out of the water on its own.
Yep,
you just go pluck it from the tree like a fruit.
I have to wait till drawdown, and then I go walk the banks and go retrieve all my umbrella rigs and my.
I did want to point out that May was the second time we have not included a hard bait, and I've gotten some very good responses. So
you got two last month, so
well, it's not. Listen, I don't think it's always about hard baits. Hard baits are good, and they're very good, but I June
to me is like it is you are getting more into the Texas rigging type, like jigging flips.
Well,
like
June is all top water.
Yeah, like it's
you're on top.
May you're getting
or you're working contour.
Like for
us,
just talked about post spawn. We've had a long spring, and our fish have been in like a perpetual state of like post spawn here.
But just so everybody knows, in Dark Horse Tackle World, June is the all top water box. So everything you're getting is going to be for top water, which is my favorite thing. So you guys might get to see me in a video or two for once.
Yeah. Check out our YouTube shorts right now. We got Zach doing some field testing. Successful field testing, I will add. Dude, I'm telling you, like having an all top water box has been very big for us because, dude, that's like
fun.
There's a lot of guys who like only top water fish. Like if they can't throw a frog or they can't throw, a walking bait or a popper, they don't want to do it. And I get where they're at. Like I just want to catch bass in general, but like, dude, last year, man, I really fell in love with buzzbait fishing again. Like buzzbait fishing used to be something that was a tool. that was like, oh, the impact's not working. Let me try something else where, 90% of the time you're using an impact. And I rarely threw a buzzbait ever. And then I just got more confidence in, I took a buzzbait out, dude, and I fished that thing from basically sun up to sundown for like weeks at a time. Just grinded it out, figured out where they need a buzzbait in the middle of the day. At the end of the day, like it's, come on, that's where topwater thrives. Beginning of the day, topwater thrives. But if you can go out there and just catch them with a buzzbait all day long, highly suggest you do so.
If you want to go out there and catch them with a buzzbait all day long, I suggest you take a variety with you.
Yep.
That make different noises. That is how you will catch them all day long.
The progression of aggression.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. I don't know if Jeff Little started that, but that's the first person and only person I've ever heard say that.
Same.
And I very much love that term because, like I said tonight, like crankbaits with the rattles and their presence and what they're made out of, like you can figure out the progression of aggression. Same thing with buzzbaits, the size of blades, how much noise they make.
Yep.
Everything.
I've been basically trying to catch bass on top water via running soft plastics, screaming across the top of the water since I started fishing for bass.
Yep.
And I have definitely noticed that if you want to be able to do that and have success, you have to know when it's time to go from the diesel engine to the Tesla. Like you gotta know, like, all right, that's too much right now.
Right.
I need to go down to something that's barely making any noise at all. Or vice versa. Like it's pretty cool, man. It's actually pretty cool. I don't know if you were listening or not, but this last time I was out, I was actually able to like select what size of fish I wanted to catch by the amount of commotion and noise that the bait was making.
Yep.
I went from one noise in one profile to another noise in another profile, and the size immediately changed.
Yep.
Which, if I would have figured that out 6 hours earlier, I might have been more than 2 places from last.
It's look, location first. You figure out where they're at, and then start cycling through some things. Find one thing they'll eat, and then cycle through things that are different. Kind of in that vein, but a little bit different, a little bit off. I like my colors as much as everyone else, but like when it comes down to it, I'm pretty simple. Like give me white, give me green, give me black and blue, and I'm pretty happy, generally speaking. But the presence that thing emits, like you hear match the hatch all the time, right? If all your bait fish is this big and you throw something this big, it's not really the same presence that they're used to. And like, that's why you get a lot of followers or lookers at big baits, is because they're like, what the heck is this thing? It's like,
they're like,
it's obnoxious. Mama,
they're
like, I have to go look at this, right? Like it's the car wreck at the intersection. Like, oh, something happened. Like I got to go stare at this, right? But that's not it. Like I think it's like the jar of M&Ms, right? If the M&Ms were all king size, if your peanut M&Ms were this freaking big, you wouldn't eat one every time you walk through the room.
So see a giant M&M and you're like, damn, look at that thing.
I'm
gonna put my mouth on it.
So we're 4 minutes past our hour, but to wrap this thing up, I thought it would be kind of fun. I've got my 11-cent note card here, and I've written names on it: Ryan, Josh, and Zach. And what I want from you guys is, how many inches is it going to take to win Springfield?
2-day total.
2-day total.
93 at least.
That you gotta give it to me, man.
Oh,
Is that,
it's going to take 96 and a quarter.
96.25. Josh?
Well, I was going to say 96. So it's a, let me get this straight. It is a 2-day best of 5 over the 2-day.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Dude. Half a day on Friday, full day on Saturday.
4 hours of Friday evening fishing and 8 hours of Saturday.
98 and 3/4.
Ooh,
I do think a century belt will be broken in Ohio.
It very well could.
I do think
very, very well could. Especially if you shoot for a mixed bag.
Yep.
I'm going 99. Even.
And
we're going closest to without going over?
That'd be closest to a quarter.
Price is Right rules.
Yep.
All right. Cool.
1 inch.
Got it right here.
One.
We'll see. Real quick, I was going to look at the calendar here. Our next live is going to be on the 17th, which is perfect. We will have come and gone from the. I may or may not be on the St. Lawrence, but I'll be here.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Live stream from the St. Lawrence.
Dude, yeah. I hope I can go, man. There's a lot going on that weekend.
Yes, there is. It seems like every trip we try to play, and it's like, hey, money.
But well, we're also that's the weekend that we're going to collect all that is Jig Masters and move it from Bowling Green, Ohio to Pittsburgh.
We got Jig Masters content coming.
Yes, Jig Masters content coming. Here in the next, we'll say in the month of June. I want you guys to while Jig Masters itself, the site is down.
Dark Horse Tackle is up.
Dark Horse Tackle is up. I want you guys to, if you're looking for Jig Masters stuff, come on over and check out what Dark Horse Tackle has. I will be adding a ton of Jig Master stuff to Dark Horse Tackle inventory, but Dark Horse Tackle will always carry Jig Masters. But once the transition is done and over, Jig Masters will come back to life, and you will be able to go to Jig Masters to do what you want there too as well. So, but in the interim, while Jig Masters is down, because currently, if you go to the Jig Masters site, you can't do anything there.
Right.
While it is down, check out darkhorsetackle.com,
please,
and see if we got what you need.
Yeah. Thank you all for watching, hanging out with us. And again, in the month of May, a couple of mix-ups, and we are apologetic for such. The Samatas shot did not get sent out in the Dark Horse Tackle box.
Oh God, we did forget to talk about that. Yeah, listen, guys, I looked at that. I had 3 different people proof it.
I looked at it. My girlfriend looked at it.
But if you look at the brochure, the last bait on the bait list is the Samatas shot, and it says that it would be in the box and the dabble pack. That bait is only in the dabble pack. That is my fault, my typo. I will not blame my proofreaders, even though. But no, that, so if in case you guys are wondering, hey, where the hell is the 6th bait? No, you only got 5. Do the math if you like. The price works out. But the dabble pack, which only happens every once in a while, the dabble pack got something you guys did. Which, real quick, I would like to talk about this. Nobody understands money trouble as much as we do. We've been fighting financials for a long time, and
making do.
We're starting to win. We're starting to win, but we understand. And in that vein, guys, there's actually pluses to the Dabble Pack. And if a box is out of your reach right now, there's no need to don't be ashamed. Get the Dabble Pack.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you think about it in the way
You're a
that I was
value
thinking
guy.
Well, the way I was thinking about it the other day is, listen, if you really like getting a subscription box or getting a subscription, whatever, and you like Dark Horse Tackle and you like all that stuff, you can spend less money, get the Dabble Pack. You get 2 to 3 baits every single month.
Yep.
And you can actually spread it over more time. You know what I mean? Like, rather than getting 5 to 6, and at the end of the year, you've got this giant pile of baits, you can get the Dabble Pack and spread that enjoyment out over much longer a period of time with less financial impact and keep the surprises coming.
You know what I like about the Dabble Pack?
What's that, Bob?
We are sending you a bulletproof technique.
Yep.
You're getting a technique. You're
like one, usually 1 or 2.
This you want to pay, $15 for an idea? Here it is.
Yep.
And you're getting 2 to 3 baits, guaranteed 2. And a lot of times when you get 2 baits, that's where the value is way up.
For a long time, Josh and I were like, God damn Dabble Pack. Because we usually end up
$16 crankbait, a pack of worms.
Because we usually end up not making out quite as well with Dabble Pack. So there's usually quite a bit of value in the Dabble Pack. But I just in a positive note, it really is a way to stretch out that experience for much longer with a less of a financial impact. So don't overlook the Dabble Pack.
No, never. No.
All right. With that said, thank you very much, Ryan.
Welcome.
Thank you, Ryan.
And Josh, as always, bub.
See y'all in a couple weeks after I catch 90. Who went really high?
I said 99.
99. All right. My bar is set.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here.
We
Josh,
will see you all on
hit the big red button.
See ya.